comfortable, check in with that long spine. So you want to think about that length from the base of the tailbone to the crown of the head. So the long, sitting upright in the chair with confidence, resting the hands lightly, soften your shoulders, soften your jaw, even soften the space between your eyebrows. Go ahead and just close your eyes and take some very slow breaths in and out. Allowing the breath to create a sense of presence, a sense of arrival, a sense of calm. Really tap into that power of that breath. Time Enough by Dana Folds. The wisdom voice says, be still. Take time for what is truly important. I imagine myself diving, leaving behind an untidy trail of what's not needed. I cast aside worry, which has never brought me anything even remotely useful. I let go of doubt in all the countless ways I tie myself in knots. Scattered behind me like discarded clothes are old beliefs, selfish agendas, my fixed and false identities, attachment to particular results. Weightless and miraculously free, my eyes shine with wonder and enthusiasm. The wisdom voice says, there is always time enough for joy. I was walking with one of my best friends yesterday. She and I met when we were in middle school. Remained the best of friends, college roommates in college. And so anyway, we were walking our dogs yesterday and we were just having this sort of light bulb aha moment of learning to live in the present. And it was prompted by a discussion about how many school systems are already starting to say that they're not going to open in the fall. And just as an example, if we allow ourselves to just attach to that and focus on that and worry about and what's that gonna look like, it becomes a real distraction from enjoying this present moment that we had to walk our dogs. And it was sort of this real deep relationship to the idea of learning to live in the present. We talk about that in yoga all the time, but I feel like it's really relevant and important right now, learning to live in the moment and live in the moment with joy. So dropping the chin to the chest, begin to weave the head side to side. Finding the length in the neck. And find the joy in the moment. So feel the heaviness of the head. Notice the heaviness of the head. Feel the tightness or the tension in the shoulders and feel that break up as you rotate your head around. Remember, we don't go back. It's really a half circle. So we'll sweep around to the right and stay, and we'll take that stretch there where we find the opposing forces of the head and the fingertips. So really press in opposite directions, and the goal is to lengthen right through here. So we want to pry the head up out of the spine, up and over, and then press away with the fingertips. Let's take a deep breath in. Now think of the push point in the hips and lengthen the spine as you deepen that stretch. So push into the hips, into the seat of the chair, and then lift with length. We'll release the hand, roll through to the other side. Pausing there. Allowing the stretch to happen. So just moving patiently, taking our time, savoring the idea reaching the arm. So the best stretches, the best release happen when we allow them to work out through patience, using the breath to guide us, taking our time. Take a deep breath in and a slow breath out. Release the hand to the leg, roll through the center, and lift. Let's take a quick stretch for the shoulders, and we're actually going to move right into sun salutations this morning. So light fingertips, just resting, making a gentle little hammock on the head. Lift, open the arms. Now let's start by beginning to pull the elbows away from each other and around behind you. So feel the scapula, the shoulder blades squeezing around the spine. Now root down in the sit bones and really pour the heart through and begin to scoop your back. Shifting your gaze up, you're creating a cow pose. So you're really scooping through your back. We don't want to compress or dump down into our low back. We want to lift and scoop. Take a big breath in and a slow breath out. One more breath in. And on the exhale, begin to fold the elbows together. Tuck the belly button and hold in this cat position. Actively pulling the spine back towards the chair. So pull the spine towards the chair. Tuck the belly in. Look for the length in the back. And then begin to open the shoulder blades. So actively pull the shoulder blades open. Do this with intention. Right, so we'll take a little flow here. Inhale to open like a butterfly opening its wings. Arch the back. And exhale to fold in. I'd like you to do about 4 more of those on your own. I'm actually going to get my remote control for the fan because it's really warm in this room. All right, so let's release, resting the hands to the thighs. We will move into some sun salutations. If you'd like to stand, I invite you to stand. It will be a gentle sun salutation. We will not be dropping into down dog or anything like that. So if you wish to stand, you're welcome to do so. Resting the hands by the side, we'll inhale the breath up overhead. Exhale and fold down, let the belly be heavy, soften the neck. Inhale to that flat back extend pose. And flat back extend and standing, it will look like this. Your spine will be level to the floor. Shoulders and hips are level. You're pushing the backs of the legs away. And then you're prying the heart forward. And then we'll fold down again and relax into the forward fold. Breathe in to rise. Breathe out to spread your wings widely. Be heavy in your forward fold. Take a breath in, lift the heart space, actively set the shoulders down the back, and then fold again. So we inhale to rise. We exhale to fold. We inhale to a flat back. We exhale to fold. Now we're going to add on. Inhale to rise. Exhale to fold. Inhale to your flat back and stay right here. Now with the flat back, whether you're standing or whether you're seated in the chair, we're going to take our right arm high and look up and towards the fingertips and then begin to twist through the chest but square up through the hips. Release that down. Take a breath in and go to the other side. Roll the shoulder blade back. Release that down and pause. Take a breath up. Prayer hands at the top. Heart center and pause. So now that we've created a little bit of warmth, let's pause here for a moment and close your eyes and just set your intention for today. So breathing in softly, quieting the mind. You may wish to dedicate your practice to someone you love. You may wish to dedicate your practice to yourself. You may wish to set an intention, a goal physically in your practice. There's no right or wrong here. It's just a matter of setting a goal. And we know that when we set little goals, we get more out of our activities when we set goals. Two more breaths. And release. Blink the eyes open, release the arms by the side, coming back to the idea of time enough for joy. Inhale to rise, all the joy. Exhale to fold. Flat back extend, so lift the spine. Fold again. Let's go right back up into that flat back. Reach up and twist, find the length of the spine, drop the shoulder blade back, release. Go the other way. Release. Inhale up, prayer hands at the top. Exhale, intention to your heart center. One more time. Inhale to rise. Exhale to fold. Inhale to your flat back and stay. Take an in breath as you reach high. Out breath to lower down. In breath to reach high. Out breath to lower down. Fold in, pause. Breathe in to the top. Exhale to the heart center. And hold right there. Releasing the hands to the side. Stay on the front part of your chair. You're going to take your right leg and extend it long, and your left leg's going to open into warrior two. So the thigh bone is resting on the seat of the chair. Now this long leg is long without locking out the knee. It does have a micro bend in the knee. If you need to support this with a soft knee, that's fine. You can even create a right angle with the thigh bones and the pelvis, whatever works for your range of motion. So here we are supported. We want to check in with our torso and get that between our hips. So you want to find that height of the spine in line with the hips. Pause right there. The range of motion. Flexibility and mobility affect your range of motion. And range of motion allows us to move without risk of injury. It allows us to move with power. It allows us to catch ourselves when we trip or fall. Range of motion, flexibility, mobility, range of motion are very important for our overall health. Let's send those arms out wide. Let's inhale to lift. Exhale and push the palms down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to push. Inhale to lift. Exhale to push. We're going to do 4 more. Now I want you to imagine peeling your ribs off your hips and then push through water. Inhale to lift. Exhale to push. Set the shoulder blades. Inhale to lift. Exhale to push. One more time. Breathe in. Exhale to push and hold. Release here. Now, if you're in standing, hang out here if you're in the chair. If you're in standing, We're going to do this one more time, but in standing, you're going to straighten and you're going to bend. You're going to straighten and then bend, okay? All right, so here we go. Set it out. Let's go, breath work. Up and down. Up and down. So we'll lift and straighten up, drop into the legs, lift and straighten, drop. One more time. And hold. So stay right where you are. If you're in the chair, you're going to take your hands to the chair. You're going to push your feet into the mat as if you're pulling the mat apart. And you're going to hover your hips and work to stabilize. Just play around with that. Do that a couple of times. Feel that strength. If you're in standing, you're going to lift up a little bit and hold and drop down. Lift up a little bit and hold and drop down. Let's do that 2 more times. And 1 more time and hold. Sweeping the leg around. If you're in standing, you're in mountain pose. This is mountain pose. If you're in seated, you're back through the center. Okay, so from the chair, you're going to have a seat, press into the heels, and you're going to stand up. And you're going to sit down, roll back, use the legs and use the core, and you're going to lift. If you're in standing in mountain pose, you're going to drop down into a squat, and you're going to press and stand. So you'll be dropping down and press and stand. Either way, whatever works for you. Just take the time and be aware of the processes happening, how your body weight is moving. Feel the pressure on the soles of the feet. Feel the legs. Let's do one more and we'll sit down and stay or remain in mountain pose. And hold. So if you're in the chair, you're going to just roll up onto the balls of your feet and you're going to pull your heels up, activating your calf muscle. So from here, you'll just be lifting up, activating. Make sure that you've got your ankle and your knee in alignment and kind of push the knees forward and then you'll roll down. So you'll roll up and you'll roll down. But when you roll up, I want you to really push into the balls of your feet. And standing, you're going to lift up and roll down. So we're doing the same foot and ankle exercise, whether you're seated or standing. And I want you to feel the lower half of your leg on the back side. So the calf muscle area into the Achilles tendon and under the sole of the foot. Really massaging the base of the foot, rolling and dropping. Now, if you're in standing, you can even roll up and squeeze the whole back line of the body. Let's just do a couple more. Let's say 4, that's not a couple. 3, 2, and 1. All right, release down. We'll take warrior 2 on the other side. So that means you're up towards the front of your chair. You've got the other thigh bone supported on the chair, extending out the leg. Now take your time to get yourself organized. So I got my groin on the chair so I can stack my shoulders over my hips. I feel very secure here. I can feel the stretch through my groin. I'm actively pushing this knee and then start pressing the feet away. If you're in standing, warrior 2 looks like this. Shoulders over hips, square up to the front. Now let's flow the arms without moving the legs. We'll lift up and push down like you're moving through water. Lift, breathe in. Exhale, push the palms. Breathe in to lift. Exhale to push the palms, just a few more. Now notice where you may be holding on to tension. If it's in your shoulders, if it's in your jaw, you need to let that go. If the tension is in your mind, come back to the beauty of movement, come back to the joy. And let's do one more. And release. Take a break, give the shoulders a rest. In standing, we're going to do the leg work where we lift. Everything is pulling through the midline, out through the fingertips, and then we drop down into the legs. So inhale and exhale. In the chair, we're just doing another round. Here we go. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in as you lift. Breathe out to push. Breathe in as you lift. Breathe out to push. Breathe in and feel, flood the body. Breathe out to push down. Flood in the body with breath. Push down. Feel the oxygen pushing around and down. One more time. Breathe in to lift. And breathe down. Release the hands. Okay, so building a bit of strength here in the lower body. In the chair, you're going to lift and hover. So there's space here, and then you're going to sit back down. Use the strength of the legs and the core to lift and hover and sit back down. Don't push off the chair. That's cheating. Use the strength of the base of the body. If you're in standing, you're just going to lift an inch and lower an inch. Lift an inch and lower an inch. Do maybe 4 more. Maybe 2 more. And 1. Hold down, sweep the leg around, center yourself right back up. Okay, so we're going to do some core work. If you'd like to stay in the chair, you're welcome to stay in the chair. If you would like to stand, you can mimic these movements in standing. So I'd like to begin by taking your legs and extending them out in front of you. Now, you don't need to get your legs perfectly straight. You can have a soft bend in the knee. That's fine. If you like, you may find that you prefer to turn side on in the chair. In fact, let's go ahead and do that. Let's turn side on in the chair like this. So let's go ahead and do this. Side on and in the chair. Lean yourself back and feel your core engage. Use your core to pull yourself right back up. So lean yourself back. Use your core to pull yourself right back up, stacking your spine. Lower back. Core strength to lift. Keep going. Lower back. Core strength to lift. Let's do 4 more. Lower back. Core strength to lift. Let's do 2 more. And 1. Okay, back to your seat, extending those legs out a little bit. Just know that the closer the legs are, the easier anything we do will be. The farther away you send the legs, it adds a little bit more challenge. Likewise, the farther away you take your body, the more strength your core has to use to hold you. So your range of motion may be smaller as you get used to this, but you also might be ready to really go for it. So that's up to you. Taking one knee, simply pull it up into the chest and press the leg down. Pull up into the chest and press the leg down. So we're going to crunch and extend. Crunch and extend. crunch, and extend. Notice my back. Crunch into the belly button and open out. Now let's crunch and curve, extend and straighten. Crunch and curve, extend and straighten. Get that C shape in the spine. Let's do one more time each way. And release, swinging around to the front. Okay, so we're gonna do what's called half moon. It's a side body opener and work for the obliques. If you're in standing, let me show standing first because they can get started and we can move around together. You'll take the arms up overhead. You'll release the palms. You'll push the palms together, excuse me. You can even clasp your fingers and release your index fingers. We're gonna anchor down through the heels, square up through the hips. Inhale to create length. Exhale to tip over the beach ball. Inhale to lift. Exhale to tip over the beach ball. Inhale to create the length. Exhale to tip. Inhale to create the length. Exhale to tip. So keep rolling through that on your own. You're breathing in to create this space. You're exhaling to tip over. You're inhaling to lift. You're exhaling to tip. You want to feel the movement in the torso. Tune into that movement and notice the mobility you're creating. Relax the shoulders and just make it feel good to you. So just roll with the breath and keep on moving. And let's release through the heart center and take a quick little break. So we're gonna go 4 more times, twice on each side. And I want you to anchor down through your tailbone, and I want you to feel the hip pushing down, the stretch on the side, and actively reach to your edge in the opposite direction. All right, here we go. Breathe in. Clasping the hands, index the fingers, lift, and pour yourself over and stay, stay, stay. Anchor down that hip bone. So push the hip bone, lift up and over, hold. Now turn your chest just a little bit, yep. Breathe out, inhale to lift through the center, release to the heart space, take a pause. So I want you to actively push your edge on this. We're going the other way. You're anchoring down the hip. You're looking for the opening on the side body. We'll get over there and then we'll twist a little. Inhale up. Create your length. Set your shoulders in their sockets. Breathe in. Exhale, start floating over and stay. Stay, stay, stay. Now anchor that hip down. Anchor down. Open. Pour yourself over. Breathe. Now twist, Virginia, twist. Yep. And breath to the top. Release to the heart center. Okay, one more time, and I want everybody to go a little bit deeper. Find a little bit more side bend. Here we go. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in length. Exhale and go. Over, anchor the hips. Roll, more, 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 more. Twist. And breath to the top. Release through the center. One more time. Breathe in for the length. Exhale, start side bending. Scoop, scoop, scoop. Hips down, up and over. More. Twist. Ride the in-breath to the top and release. Nice job. Let's roll those shoulders. So I think that actually feels really nice. Let's go ahead and do that. So without moving your arms, take your shoulders, squeeze them in. Squeeze your chest, your cleavage. Roll it open. Squeeze. Roll open. So on the back, squeeze, shoulder blades open, reverse, shoulder blades together. Squeeze. So I'm really listening to my body, and I noticed when I was just kind of playing around for a moment, I was like, oh my gosh, that actually feels really good. Okay, so let's move into the hip joint, back to that idea of flexibility and mobility, which affects range of motion, which helps prevent your risk of injury, gives you more power, gives you more strength, gives you more performance. Scooting over to the edge of your chair. So balance your pelvis on the chair and anchor with the one leg and release the other leg, but bend your knee. So I can actually, because of the length of my thigh bone, I can kneel. I am in a kneeling position right now. Looks like this, so you can see. Now you may not be able to do that, and that's okay. Your leg may be floating a little bit, that's fine. So hold on to the chair here and just kind of move this leg around. I've got a bent knee. Just kind of move that leg around. Use your core, use your arm strength. And feel that hip joint. Start making the movement bigger. Now, if you're in standing, you can move in here. If you're worried about balance, you can lift your knee and tap. You can lift up behind you and tap. So the idea is we're just breaking up tension in the hip joint. Just notice your standing leg. Don't lock out the knee. We never lock out the knees or the elbows. Let's just do a few more. Move at your own pace. Maybe it's slower. Maybe you want to crunch. Maybe you want to open. Play around with that movement. Let's do 2 more. And 1. So hold right there. Hold right there where you are. Now this leg, we're going to change the movement, and it's going to feel super awkward. Without tipping over too much, we're going to take a hip and we're going to kind of open to the side and lower down. Now I am actively holding on to my chair and using the strength of my arm to give me a counter position here. If you're in standing, you're just going to lift to the side and tap down. Lift to the side and tap down. I don't know if y'all can read my shirt or not, but it says, "Be the light." Core strength, muscles in the legs, mobility in the hip. Maybe 2 more. And 1, release. So now let's take that leg and extend it long. The other leg is bent. If you're in standing, you're going to take the stretch. If you're in seated, you're going to take the stretch. Don't press on the straight leg. Press on the bent leg. The idea is that you're feeling a stretch along the back of the straight leg. Pull the belly in, push the hips back, draw the chest towards the legs, elongate the back of the leg. Now let's roll our breath. Every in-breath fills and lifts. Every out-breath sinks into the stretch. In-breath to fill and lift. Exhale to sink into the stretch. In-breath to lift. Out-breath to sink in. And release. We'll come through the center and work around to the other side. So, pause. I always like to pause and check in all of my alignment wherever it is. There's no need to be in a rush. So I'm making sure I've got myself secure. I've got my grip on the chair, and I'm actively using the strength over here to counter the force in the opposite direction. And then shifting the body weight onto the leg on the chair, just begin to move that hip, play around with it. If you're in standing, now if you're in standing, you obviously have the option. If you're worried about your balance, you can obviously hold on to the chair. I always love balance challenge. It's really important to continuously challenge our balance. Balance requires a lot of strength. It also requires the mind and the body to work together. So anytime we foster that or train that, that's a good thing. So yeah, you just play around with that. Keep on moving, so keep on rolling with that one leg, working through that hip joint. We hold a lot of tension in our hips. We really want to break that up. When we have hips that are stiff and tight, we walk like this. And we don't want to do the shuffle. We want to be able to use our whole body to ambulate. All right, and then let's work the hip joint in a different plane. So instead of front and back, like this, now we're gonna work to the side and in. So lift and lower. Obviously, you can do this in standing. Maybe 4 more. Play around, be curious. You don't have to move in the same pattern every time. You can move a little forward, you can move a little back. And extending the leg out. I've got fully seated on the chair. I'm going to breathe in, exhale, and start to release the back of this leg. Soft knee. And if you're worried about your balance, the same exact stretch. So hold that stretch now. Let's add a little bit of rhythm. So we'll breathe in, inflate, breathe out to really sink and set into the stretch. Breathe in to fill and expand like a balloon. Breathe out to sink into the stretch on that leg twice more. and release, coming around to the center. So just a quick little point on that stretch, if you will. We're going to move into some arm and upper body work if you want to have a seat. And just a quick little point real quickly on that hamstring stretch. We don't ever do this where you're pushing into the straight leg. That can be a lot of bad force on your knee joint. We don't ever do that. You always support with the hand on the other leg. Okay, so extending the arms out, reaching the fingertips. You're anchored down through the sit bones. You're going to reach over, center, over, center, over, center, over. Now roll. So roll forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. Over, center, over, center, over, center, over, forward, back. So we roll, 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 roll. Now use your core, use your core. Slide, slide, slide. And roll the shoulders. Shake it out. Hands up. So palms facing each other. Cross. So I've got my left arm under. Backs of the hands are fine. Palms are better. Eagle arms. Now take your elbows, draw them up in line with your shoulders so you can see me up in line with your shoulders. Lift the fingertips high, feel a stretch in your upper back. These are called eagle arms. Now feel your core. From here, we're going to tuck the elbows into the belly button. So you're going to roll your spine like cat. Use your core strength to lift up. We're not going to cow. So for me, this is an exhale, exhale, exhale. Inhale, inhale, lift. Exhale, belly in, belly in, belly in. Lift. One more time. And release. Really important to actually do that with both arms. Here we are. Palms facing each other. Take your right hand, scoop it under. Backs of the hands are fine. Palms are a little bit better. Long spine with the elbows up in line with your shoulder. Pause. Begin to feel the opening in the upper back. Now let's move. So this is your exhale. Exhale, inhale, lift. Exhale, exhale, inhale, lift. Scoop, scoop, scoop. Lift. Elbows up. Feel the stretch. Keep moving. Scoop that spine. It's really good for you. Notice if your shoulders are creeping up towards your ears, send them back down. Let's do one more. And release. Woo! That was quite a workout. Shake it out. Okay, so let's go back to those neck rolls. Drop the chin to the chest. Rolling side to side through the center. So here is your inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, exhale. One more time each way. And hold the center. So let's take a moment of time here to, actually let's do our wrists and ankles first. Sorry about that, I forgot the wrists and ankles. So I'd like you to take your right hand. We do a lot of work like this where we're pushing. Want to do the reverse. So take your right hand, hold it the opposite way, and then pull. Either pull on the fingers, press from the top, but really get that counter stretch into your wrist. And then let's pump the fingers. All right, so the other side. So we do a lot of push like this, like a push-up. Reverse that. You can push down from the top. You can pull from the bottom. Pump the fingers. You don't use it, you lose it, right? So move in all directions, pump a little bit, move, pump a little bit. Same idea with the feet. I like to do one at a time so I can not worry about my balance and just work on the range of motion. So I'm actually leaning back in the chair, just chilling out. Pull the ankle around, point and flex. And then try to open the toes. The same idea of spreading your fingers. Try to spread your toes. That's harder. And release, spread your toes. So it's like an idea, I mean, we can all throw a ball, right? If I were to pass you a softball right now and say, hey, throw it to somebody, you would probably miss your mark because it's your first time out. But the second throw would get better, and the third throw would get better. And by the fifth throw, you could probably get it where you wanted it to go. It's the same idea. Go ahead and switch feet. Like the first time I try to open my toes, I don't get very far. And then the second time, I'm like, okay, I've got the connection with my brain. And then I can finally get to where I can really pull them apart. But it takes a few repetitions to get there. So I'm a tennis player, and when we go to warm up our serves before a match, my first serve is never pretty. It takes several repetitions to get the movement pattern going, the muscle memory. All right, and let's take the quick stretch, the figure 4 stretch on the hip. That is a delicious stretch that we probably should do every time. Flexing the foot. Maybe close the eyes and maybe sort of begin to settle. Begin to apply some pressure to create a deeper stretch. Let's go the other way. Flex in the foot to stabilize the knee. Apply pressure. Notice where you may be clinging on or holding on to tension and see if you can soften those places. Oftentimes the teeth, we're often clenching our teeth and don't realize it, or holding our breath and not realizing it. Sometimes it's the shoulders. And releasing the foot down, come to your comfortable seat. Allow yourself to be supported by the back of your chair if you like, so that you can relax and breathe. Closing the eyes, begin to slow the rhythm of the breath. Roll the breath slowly in and out through the nose. Time Enough by Dana Folds, excuse me. The wisdom voice says, be still, take time for what is important. I imagine myself diving, leaving behind an untidy trail of what's not needed. I cast aside worry, which has never brought me anything even remotely useful. I let go of doubt and all the countless ways I tie myself in knots. Scattered behind me like discarded clothes are old beliefs, selfish agendas, fixed and false identities, attachment to particular results. Weightless and miraculously free, my eyes shine with wonder and enthusiasm. The wisdom voice says, there is always time enough for joy. And drawing the prayer hands to the heart center. Return to your intention, your goal, your mindset from the beginning of class. My wish for you today is that you may find joy in whatever your day holds. Time enough for joy. Learning to live in the moment. Letting go of the worry of what's to come and just enjoying joy in the moment. The light and spirit in me acknowledges and honors the light and spirit in each of you. Namaste. Let's see. For those of you who need to roll, thank you for coming. Everybody's been unmuted.
Thank you. I always feel better after your class. It just starts my day out right with that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, me too.
Hi, Melissa. What is the name of the poem and the author?
I'll show you. So you can see that this book is very well loved by me. This is the spine.
Hey, buy you some tape, girl.
It has seen better days. So it's called From Root to Bloom, Yoga
Okay.
Poems and Other Writings by Dana, D-A-N-N-A. I'm pronouncing it Folds, but it's F-A-U-L-D-S. F-A-U-L-D-S. This